Boom! What's up, Familia? Dayspring here. And do I have a raspy voice this morning? It's probably because last night I was out with our guest today, and I may have had a glass of wine or three. But before we get into our amazing guest, this morning at 9 a.m. on Target.com, Marvel Legends Psylocke versus Thanos from the Capcom series went on pre-order, and I woke up at 8:59, sat at my computer at 9 a.m., searched Marvel Legends, searched Psylocke, searched Thanos, and I got nothing. And then finally, thankfully, we had so many Familia members sending me the link because everyone knows I never make it to these Target pre-orders. I'm horrible with pre-ordering. So I got the link from Dan from the More Mutants podcast. Thank you so much. Oh, and Sergio too. Thank you, from X-Men Fan Club Tees, among many other people who had sent them, but specifically those two because they know how terrible I am. But I literally was clicking the link. I went to Target.com. I put in two of them. They were available. And when I went to check out, they said stock is empty. And then Flink had also sent me the link. I clicked on that again. I did it. I only got one this time because I've heard on the back end that if you get two, it'll tell you it's out of stock. So try one. And they were still available. And literally, as I went to check out, once again, it said out of stock. Why? And this all happened within the course of 5 minutes. Now, listen, I understand these Target exclusives, everyone wants them. And perhaps the Target team isn't ready, to be able to manage all of these Marvel Legends fanboys coming onto their website and just taking this action figure. So like perhaps they don't have that technology. I don't know. I have no idea how this works on the back end. But can it just be a pre-order window, like for just 1 hour? Like, I don't know who the Target rep is for Hasbro, but like I would just sit them down and be like, listen, you're fucking with our reputation here. Because again, I would not hold Hasbro to task with this at all. I see some of those angry comments where people are like, oh, I can't believe you're doing another Target exclusive. It's like, you have no idea what happens on the back end when you have these figures and you're going to retailers and you're trying to get these figures out. You're at the mercy of whatever your accounts want. So sometimes you can get fan channel exclusives, or sometimes you get Target exclusives, or sometimes they ship to all retailers. You're sort of at the mercy of so much more corporate planning for all parties involved. So again, I'm not holding Hasbro to task that one of their major accounts, Target, wanted an exclusive Psylocke versus Thanos set. Not holding anyone accountable for that, but like I would sit down and be like, hey, okay, we're going to do this. This is going to be very popular. Can we at least have the pre-order window for 1 hour open? I mean, Target has the technology to do whatever they want. It's their website. They can keep it pre-ordered. Like, this is insane. So anyways, long story short, thankfully, Flinkman was able to get a second one because he knows me. And I was able to secure her that way. But I wanted two. I want two of them. Anyways, I'll just have to go to eBay, I guess. I suppose. Listen, it's a nice problem to have that in this world, we're getting a Psylocke versus Thanos set based off of their appearances in Marvel versus Capcom. It's incredible. So, however we get her. All right. Well, again, my voice is a little hoarse, and that's because of today's guest who messaged me last night. So yesterday I got the Switch 2. I was about to say the Wii U. That's what happens when smoke ciggy. That's what happens when you're out partying and you've been around for a couple of decades, kids. Everything just bleeds together. Okay. So last night I was playing the Switch 2. I was playing Mario Kart. That's the only game I got. And, oh God, this is so... I'm going to be a little raw here, Familia. I had Shake Shack. I had the Stackhouse burger, the double Stackhouse barbecue burger. I had cheese tendies. I also had Skittles, but I had mini Skittles with gummy Skittles as well. So absurd. But I was like, I'm going to stay in tonight. It was the first night I had off in probably weeks. And I was like, I'm just going to play Switch 2. I'm going to play Mario Kart like it's 1993 and just have like a fun time playing this. And a couple hours into it, I was like, I was getting kind of restless. I was like, oh, I actually want to do something. Maybe I should go out and get a drink in the neighborhood. And today's guest, Alexander, messaged me and was like, where are you? Let's go get a drink in Lower Manhattan. And I was like, absolutely yes. So today's guest is a very special person. We had met a couple months ago through Power of X-Men. But as you guys know, or may not know, I also like a lot of fashion and pop culture news, and he's really into that too. So when we started talking on DMs, we found out that we had a lot in common. Specifically, we love Difficult People with Billy Eichner and Julie Klausner. So that was an instant bond. But he does a lot of art galas, and I'm a benefit auctioneer. So we had a lot of that overlap in common and sort of our musings on the New York gala scene. So today on the podcast, I have the pleasure of introducing the familia to Alexander Mason Hankin, who is an arts philanthropist, social commentator, and real estate developer. He is a fashion influencer, although I don't think he would call himself influencer, but I will call him a fashion influencer because I love all of his outfits. Last night he was wearing a pair of Dior sneakers, which, if those of you out there who read Phoenix Endsong as obsessively as me, you know that Emma Frost, our queen, when Kitty mocks her and she goes, "Oh, you're just smelling the Chanel." And Emma just turns to Kitty and says, "Dior, darling, always Dior." So Alexander was wearing beautiful Dior sneakers, but he's also editor at large at Avenue Magazine. And most importantly, he is a major Emma Frost stan. And when I went to his apartment a couple months ago, he had the best Marvel Legends display because it was focusing on the Hellfire Club. Oh, it looked so good. And we actually knew we were going to be best friends forever when we talked about how Emma Roberts would be perfect casting for Emma Frost. So I know that's a contentious one. I know a lot of, any MCU casting is going to be contentious, but I remember when I first said this years ago that I would have liked Emma Roberts to play Emma Frost. People were like, no, she's too young. Well, she's in her like early to mid 30s now. I think that is perfect Emma Frost's age. I just think, listen, Emma Frost is going to need an actress who just embodies so much of what she is, which is fashion, which is wit, which is vulnerability, which is being a good teacher, which actually she may have all these one-liners, but she's caring. So, it's really hard. It would be very hard to find an actor who can walk that fine line. And we both agree that Emma Roberts could do this. Anyways, so today's episode is going to be focused on Emma Frost. And Alexander is going to talk about his fandom and our thoughts on Emma's fashion in the Hellfire Gala and on Marvel Rivals. So please enjoy our episode today with Alexander. How are you doing, babe?
I'm good. I'm so happy seeing your face.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
I'm happy to see your face.
I know, I'm sad that we're not doing it in person because I got food poisoning, but...
Well, okay, so for the familia at home, Alexander messaged me today and he was here like, hey, I have food poisoning, but we can still like kiki IRL. And I was like, well, You have food poisoning. I don't really eat, so
Yeah.
I think we're gonna waste this reservation at
Yeah.
the restaurant
Yeah.
we ate it
We're
at.
gonna save it for when our partners are in town and do a double date.
I was telling Jeff, my husband, that we were gonna kiki tonight, and I was potentially gonna meet your boyfriend, and he was here like, "Fuck, I would have switched my flight."
No. Well, it turns out Daniel's out of town anyway, but he like knows nothing about Marvel. So I took him for the first time to Forbidden Planet on Sunday, and I introduced him to all things Emma, and like he was like, "You're very passionate about this woman."
Okay, wait. What were you showing him about our one true queen, Emma Grace Frost?
So I was like telling him a little bit about the like we were going to talk this week, and then I was like, well, my favorite X-Men of all time, X-Woman, is Emma Frost. And he's like, well, what do you love about her? And I was like, well, okay, well, let me Google image her so you can just see. And I was like, well, I mean, she is everything that I looked for when I dated women. Like, I was like, blonde hair, big boobs, fashionista, cunty. Can I say that? Just like witty as fuck. Like she's the whole package.
Emma Frost is Miss Jean Brody if she were a real life person in 2025. I mean, Emma's got swagger, and I think that's always the key to writing a really good Emma Frost story is that
Yeah.
Emma walks in. It's not about her being just bitchy, it's she's witty, she cares about her students, she has a lot of heart. And
She's so many layers because she's one of the few characters that was a villain and then became a hero, but she's not your typical hero.
but she was never a villain to begin with. Okay, fine. Like publishing schedule wise, yes, she was a quintessential evil villain turning Jean, our God Queen, which
Yes.
is Jean, not throwing shade at Jean, but our God Queen turning her into like this evil being. Like Emma, when you look at the character journey, especially from the early 90s, she was written as a morally gray character who was doing what needed to be done, either
Yeah.
in service of mutant kind or service of her business or service of a greater good.
And I think that's what makes her people love her so much. I think she's one of the more she feels more real.
Yeah. 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 No,
Like she
no. She is a really real character. She does not sugarcoat anything.
Yeah. No, I love her. And apparently the woman who's writing the Emma series was in Forbidden Planet like earlier in the week, like asking people about Emma.
Can I ask you a question
Yeah.
though? Are you excited for the Emma series coming in June?
I'm cautiously excited.
Okay,
I'm
fine. I
cautiously,
like cautiously optimistic. That is
yeah,
fair.
because it would be so heartbreaking if it doesn't go well. If it's like not given the justice and the writing that it deserves.
Okay, but here's my thing though. Like, I think we can be cautiously optimistic. I think the creative team is solid. I'm not throwing
Yeah.
any shade. Familia, not throwing any shade, so don't slide into any of our DMs. If you have to, slide into Alexander's DMs, not mine. But here's the thing. It's a lot of the flashback series that have happened in the last few years
Yeah.
not been great. And Anne Nesenti has been writing like the Storm, or wrote the Storm like flashback series, and Anne is like a solid writer. But I do think there is this loophole with Emma Grace Frost, where her original series, her mini series, was a flashback series. And I think if done correctly, you can offer insight into a very compelling, complex character like Emma. Not to say the Storm or any of the other characters like Wolverine are not as compelling. However, I think Emma has that morally gray terrain where a writer can go back and mine stories and flush them out a little bit.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean I agree. I agree. I'm excited just because I love when we get anything Emma. Um but I'm a little just cautious because you're right. Like when these what like origin stories haven't necessarily always gone well.
Mm.
They don't. And like this is a flashback to her like Hellfire Club days. And like I guess the original Emma series like ended right on the precipice of that, and then
Yeah.
got in several little stories of like when she started off as a dancer, her early days with Shaw, and that's fine, but like you got to be precious with that.
I
You got to be really detailed with that because us Emma Grace Frost fans are like we know every little
I
detail.
know. There's part of me that doesn't believe that Emma was a dancer.
Okay,
I
wait, she
I
was because she used her psychic powers to make people believe she was a dancer.
right. It's just like it just doesn't I feel like to me that's like the one little part of her like story that I'm just kind of like, really? Like she was a dancer? Like I just feel like we know she's like smart and came from a good family and well educated, and it just seems like it doesn't fit.
Well, okay, I'll tell you something that I find incredibly frustrating, and this is me throwing shade. So, Familia, I am so sorry. I don't mean to be shady. However, when I posted a couple months ago when Emma was on Fortnite, right, and they released her Hellfire dance, and
Oh yeah.
those the X-Men Legends, when you select Emma Frost, she kind of like dances. I was like, when has Emma ever been a dancer? Alexander, the amount of DMs that I got from some people who don't even like
Oh,
engage with
because
my
they were like her
account.
origin story.
Yeah, they're like, well, again, they don't follow the account, they don't listen to the podcast. They're messaging me being like, well, actually, she was a dancer. And I'm like, fuck you. Of course I know that. But if you actually read it, Emma made people think that she was a dancer. It's not really part of her like
Right.
repertoire of talents, which again, if Emma's a secret dancer who's amazing, that's great. I know this bitch can dance at the gala because we've read Hellfire Gala year two. However, people are obsessed with making Emma Frost a dancer in other mediums.
Yeah, I've seen the little like memes of her like and I'm just like this is it just doesn't feel it feels off. It feels off. It feels off. But I'm excited for our new Hellfire
Oh, are you?
gala.
Are
Well,
you?
we have different
That makes one of
opinions.
us.
We have differing opinions on Emma's outfit.
Yeah, I mean, mine is the correct opinion. I'm sorry, I know you're like the biggest Emma Frost stan right now, but I'm like, really?
See, I literally think the outfit is so couture.
Okay, so Familia, Alexander's talking about the Hellfire Vigil, which has just been announced like 2 days ago. And we're going to be revisiting the idea of the Hellfire Gala. Now, Hellfire Gala hasn't happened in the last 2 years. It was something that was during the Krakoan age. However, they're bringing it back, but they're masquerading it as one part vigil, and then the second part is going to be this fabulous gala red carpet event.
As you do, as would
Okay,
I.
I find that so I've talked about this. I reacted to this. No. Like I'm a benefit auctioneer. I go to galas like every night of my life. You don't do a vigil and then a red carpet.
I mean, yes, you're talking. It's like the two gala girls are talking right now. Yes, it is insane. It
What?
isn't. Wait, you know what it reminds me a little, a little bit of? Bobby Zarin's funeral. As someone who was there, like, oh my God, Jill's gonna
I'm
hear this and scream at me. But okay, whatever. I mean, Bob, like, I hope that someday when I pass, people speak about me as highly as they spoke about Bobby at that funeral. But people were so dressed up. It was like being at a red carpet event because people looked gorgeous. I mean, we're wearing like couture. I mean, Bethany looked like a witch, but everyone else like really brought it. So in a weird way, you know, I love my housewives, Marvel, just trying for that. By the way, I told this to the people at as you'll hear because you're gonna splice it in my fan idea, and they were like, "Oh, that's a really good idea."
I agree with you 100% because like first of all, like but by the way, Marvel did that video a couple of
Right.
months ago. Yeah, like there is a market for that.
There's clearly a market for it. And what I was talking about with the guy at Forbidden Planet was he's like, I feel like the women of the X-Men are very Real Housewives. And he's like, especially Emma Frost.
Well, I mean, like, do you think like Emma would like even entertain that kind of like
No,
discourse? In like, yeah,
no,
I agree.
she wouldn't.
Okay, but wait, let me back up here because like I agree with like the visual. It would be like, hmm, who is that character on Sex in the City? Lexi Featherstone.
Oh, when she
When she splats, she's like, "Whatever happened to fun?" And then she falls out the window and dies, and then
so boring I could die.
fly, and then like everyone in Manhattan would come to this funeral, and everyone would
Yes.
be dressed, and like Hugh Jackman, again X-Men connection, would be there. However, I feel like if there's a mass like genocide of your people,
Yes.
you
Yes.
wouldn't do a red carpet. However, that again being said, they're technically not dead. They're all in the white hot room, and some have come back to Earth. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess they have that loophole there. But I just think, like, Emma Frost would be, like, we would be reporting to the two Gala girls on this call right
Yeah.
now. Emma Frost would be hiring us either as an auctioneer or as a socialite appearance. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and like Emma would have a little bit more taste than doing a visual but that those are the limitations I feel to a editorial X office situation.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I feel like it could be a like you got it's a vigil or a gala, not both.
I agree. I agree. And by the way, but here's where I settled on it because I reacted to it a couple days ago. I'm okay. Listen, as long as it's well written, you can sell me on a visual and a gala.
Right.
Like
Right.
I can take off my sensible head, and if you put Emma Grace Frost in a beautiful outfit, not something from what is that? What was that like store in the mall back in like the 90s? Like New York.
Jessica McClintock.
No, not thinking something that nice. I'm thinking like Inc, like New York Inc, whatever,
Yeah.
like a businesswoman like store. Like I could be happy with it. Emma is it's disgraceful. What her name is now Emma Disgraced Frost.
Do you think the outfit's that bad?
I think it's that bad. And I'm
Really?
friends with the artist. I love Luciano. That's not a criticism on the actual art. It's a criticism on the style.
See, I liked it for what they're going. It feels very Valentino to me. Yeah.
Listen, I trust you more than I trust me. So like I'll listen to you about this.
It feels very high end, but maybe I'm wrong.
Do you think it's high end? Did you see the alternate cover though? I'm forgetting who the artist is for the alternate cover. Maybe it's better that I don't mention it, but I just thought it looked a little bit like it was reminiscent of the X-Men anime where she was
Wait, now I
wearing.
need to look at this because I might have only seen one cover.
I'm not sold on it. Like, I don't know, it also looks a little too hot topic, like the black lipstick, like really?
Oh, this one?
Yes, that one, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. You know what it's giving? The dress. It's giving Spencer's.
I was gonna say Hot Topic, but you're right on Spencer's. Like it's a parody of what Emma Frost
Because
would wear.
because here, like this one, it's a little different. That one feels like very like lace. Like I see it like lace.
Yeah.
But this, oh God, I didn't see the alternate cover. Oh yeah. Also, Emma wouldn't wear like a black rhinestone, not even rhinestone, like
Right.
studded choker.
And her bun's a little too high. And listen, I'm sporting a bun these days, but I'm not Emma Grace Frost. So like, I don't know, and like the earrings and everything,
It's very dated.
it just doesn't look good. I think what really irks me is a bold, like darkened lip. I don't feel Emma, even under any circumstances, would wear that. But
Well, didn't she, during Dark X-Men, didn't she have a black lip?
let's see. Emma Frost, Dark X. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think Mark Silvestri would have given her that. Oh, he did, and she did, and she even wore it in the one shot X-Men Black Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, but I don't know. It works a bit
Well,
better.
because I have my like Dark X-Men like little display. So Emma's my only character that she gets, and Jean because of like the Hellfire Club. She gets two figures in the display.
Okay, she is wearing that dark lip in multiple photos. Is she wearing that? Okay, so like, listen, I'm happy to eat my words, but like, come on, there's something that's not working here. There's something that's not working.
I agree. It works in the one photo. It doesn't look as good in the variant cover.
That is just, I agree. Listen, I will concede because I love Luciano. We've had him on the podcast before. Familia, go check out those that past episode with Luciano. But however, in I don't know, in the alternate covers, like Emma, okay, here's my feelings on Emma, and I want your opinion on it. Emma is a great character. Like you have her in theory, you have her come in, she's witty, she's bitchy, she owns the room. However, it takes a certain writer to write her. Same, I will say, with an illustrator. Yes, you can have Emma serving, but you have to have a certain level of artistry to do that.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I she's not always drawn the best. Like no, and no shade to. I mean, should we like astonishing this week?
Well, you tell me what you feel about Astonishing.
Okay, I will say the her line I like died like if I screenshotted it because I was just like oh I just this is why I love her like it's just these like quippy little lines and it was like wait where was it oh my God I was like literally at work and like giggling like reading it
I would love to see you at work giggling.
but then she was like oh, when she was like, Chicago is home to 2 out of the 3 Christian Louboutin boutiques in the entire Midwest. And I was like, I wonder where the third one is, but I feel like it's like in Indina, like in fucking like Minnesota. And then she's like, Sean, if your sonic screams have so much as stirred a chandelier in either one, I won't be held responsible for my actions. Like that's why we love Emma. Now, her Botox had ran a little and gave her the droopy eye.
Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, so I love Philip, who is the illustrator. I think he served cunt for her when she walked in. However, there was something with the face. Like it's not so much her Botox; it was more the expression. It's kind of
Well,
like
it's like if you go like that, she looks really good.
yeah, like I agree with you. She looks so great. It's again, it's like you have to be careful with the character like Emma. You have to be precious. And I'm never precious about things. Like I do believe in this is a multi-generational shared history universe. You
Yes.
can't always get everything right. However, with Emma Grace Frost, you can't like what was it in Exceptional X-Men during the X Manhunt crossover? There, so a character walks in, they're like Xavier has escaped, and then the next shot is Emma going like oh like that.
Oh
Emma
yeah, that
Grace
was
Frost does not go oh like no like come on
I
where is the editorial team with that? So similarly with Emma on that, sorry I'm cutting you off.
no, I agree. I don't like I feel like she's not getting the best treatment right now.
I mean one would argue it's been a minute. I think Jonathan Hickman can write Emma. Jonathan
Yeah.
Hickman can write Emma. I think under Morrison, Emma had a revolution and became a fan favorite more than she had been during like Generation X and stuff like that. However, since Morrison, it's been hit or miss sometimes. And I'm not saying like Whedon, I know Familia, I'm sorry, I know Whedon's a very contentious name, separating the artist from the art. Whedon wrote a decent Emma, and I think like Mike Carey could write a good Emma as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there she's been written well. I just feel like we're in a bit of a flop era.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's not surprise like everything's kind of like meh.
So you're with your boyfriend, and I know because we're friends that you all are recently new in your relationship, and you're
Yes.
like, I'm obsessed with this character, Emma Frost, and you're going into Forbidden Planet, shout out on 14th Street or 13th Street, excuse me, and you show him an issue of a recent Emma comic. Do you apologize? What did you pick up a back issue? Can you give context?
I picked up a I think that there was a reissue of like Emma's first appearance. So I showed him that.
Mhm.
I mean, he wasn't like fully that. He was just, it was very overwhelming to begin with for him because he'd never been in a comic book store. And then I started like chatting with one of the employees and like geeking out about like Emma. So then he just like was looking at toys. Um, but when we got home, I took him to my vitrine where I have all my Marvel Legends.
Okay. Which, by the way, Familia, I asked you where you got your shelves because they were so beautiful, and you have a beautiful view and everything, and like you have like the most like if you're gonna make Marvel Legends chic, you go to Alexander's apartment.
And then, because my villains are standing on a Chanel store. But my dark X-Men are in front of Chanel, and I feel like it's very fitting for that's where Emma should be.
Emma should always be a Chanel. Or no, no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Because Emma in Phoenix Endsong, Kitty says, you don't trust her. It's all that Chanel. And Emma looks at her and goes, Dior, darling. Always
Yeah.
Dior.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do
I
you
don't
think
have.
Emma's a Dior or Chanel girl?
I mean, with the way Dior is right now, I don't think Emma's wearing that crap.
I know. I saw that. Well, who was it? Robert Pattinson? Like,
I feel like honestly, I kind of feel like Emma's like a bit of like a Saint Laurent girl. I feel like Emma right now is buying vintage because she's like, I don't like anything.
yeah. Because, like, listen, I agree with you. Like, the fashion right now is kind of like, we're not in the
Emma is like searching out in Paris right now, like John Galliano Dior.
That's fair. Yes, you're absolutely right. Emma is going for vintage. 100.
Yeah, she's shopping back the back archives.
Do you know? Okay, we've talked about this before, and it's in our episode that we're going to air right now after this talk. But Emma is totally Emma Roberts. Like
Oh,
that is the
it,
energy Emma should have.
the only person who I think could play her right.
I agree. And like, no, go.
But my stylist and I got in a big fight about this. He's like, absolutely not.
Why?
He's like, Emma Roberts is not pretty enough to play Emma Frost. And I was like, what?
What?
I know.
No, I'm sorry. I would actually say it's the other way around. I think Emma Roberts is too pretty to play Emma Frost.
Oh, no, no, no. I think they're on par, but
I think I think Emma, the idea with Emma, and this is my own headcanon, and you can weigh in here, is that Emma had to work on herself to be a bombshell, not because she had a low self-esteem or anything, but because she wanted to be something that distracts people against her own ulterior
yeah.
motives, which is high bitch in charge business, teaching mutant kind. I feel like Emma is a little bit more manufactured, where Emma Roberts is a bit more organic. That's where I'm coming
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. Do you think Emma Frost has had a nose job?
Yeah, I mean, she said it in
Oh, yeah, she
where
has.
she's here like she had a moment with Kitty Pryde or Captain Kate, whatever we want to call her, which is like, if I get resurrected, do you think my original nose would be used?
You're right about this. I forgot about that one.
Can you imagine Emma wakes up and they got everything right except for her nose, and she's here like, Dolly, what did you do? Put me back in the resurrection queue.
She wouldn't let it happen, I don't think.
No, no, Emma would telepathically be controlling people even in the resurrection queue. But
Right.
yeah, I think like for me, Emma Roberts has always been the top pick, not just because of physical appearance, but I think Emma Roberts is one of those actors that can play a hard character with a lot of emotion underneath. Like, I love Chanel Oberlin, and yes, on the surface, Scream Queens, the character is very superficial, very mean, but there's like some lines, especially when you're looking at mid-season, where Chanel says, "Hey, that's my sister. You can't call her a bitch, but I am," and then
Yeah.
punches like that kind of undertones. I think Emma Roberts can deliver.
Oh, totally. I mean, Chanel Oberlin, Madison Montgomery, like two iconic roles that I just feel like, and she can deliver a missive in such a way, like a soliloquy missive.
Emma Roberts is literally the only person on the face of the planet right now who can play Emma Grace Frost. And again, when you were talking about Madison Montgomery, which I love, I have 3 pairs of spiked Louboutins because of Madison Montgomery, and I could not afford them like 10 years ago, and I still broke the bank just to get them. But when she is resurrected and she goes, I need a cigarette. Not that I think Emma
Right.
smokes, but the delivery of that wit, of the humor in an otherwise very serious situation, is an Emma Grace Frost coded moment.
Emma used to smoke.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, she in the martinis and the martini.
Yeah.
Back when everyone was fun. I don't know if I should say that, but like,
I don't know if I told you I'm going to Bath in May, and I'm hosting the dinner the last night of this Frick trip, and I'm kind of leaning towards like, because we're seeing a lot of 18th century art,
Mhm.
and the Hellfire Clubs have their origin in the 18th century. I'm kind of wanting to have a Hellfire Club dinner.
Oh my God, you totally should. What would you wear to? Are you Sebastian Shaw or are you Emma?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like in my head, I'm Emma,
Yeah, you are Emma.
but
You have to
but
wear
I
completely white and diamonds, dripped in diamonds.
yeah, something like that.
You have the Emma Frost smile. I mean, you definitely like you're as dapper as Emma. You could be Christian. How about that? You can be Christian.
Oh, I love. We need more Christian.
I'm obsessed. I bleached my hair during lockdown to be Christian. I shaved my head and bleached it.
That's amazing.
I'll send you a photo afterwards so you can see.
Yeah. I want Christian with kind of like a little bit of like a part, like in longer hair, like a little Brad Pitt back in the day.
Oh yeah, like Legends of the Fall, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the movie, but the promotional tour. Oh,
Yeah.
when he was dating Gwyneth. When
Yes.
Brad Pitt was dating Gwyneth, that is Christian Frost.
Yeah.
I love Christian. I mean, so my thing is like Luciano, who of course did the cover for the Hellfire Vigil, among a lot of other things, I told him when we were chatting, I was like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Bobby Iceman with Romeo. It's Bobby and Christian Frost. It's
Yes.
there for the taking because Bobby has that complicated history with Emma. It would only make sense that he would hook up with her brother. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I that's how I like Bobby. I liked him the best when he was with Christian.
Yeah, with the robe and everything. Yes,
Hmm.
100%. Like, I don't know. It just makes sense. Like, it's an organic storytelling for me. And like, I think there's a lot of like messy baggage to speak candidly. And I know things can get retcons. The stories have sort of smoothed it out. But like, Romeo was his like teenage love, his time displaced teenage Bobby love. It was Romeo, who was an inhuman, and that's fine. It worked. But now, as an adult, I know Romeo has been aged up, but it should be Christian. Christian,
Yeah.
if you've been reading as long as we have, and you couldn't tell because I have so much filler and Botox, um, it should be Bobby and Christian. And Emma, I always said this, Hellfire Gala year 3 should have been Emma Frost planning the wedding of Bobby Drake and Christian Frost.
Ah,
That would have been made more sense.
that would have been such a good gay wedding for Marvel.
I mean, listen, it made more sense than North Star and Kyle, which came so out of the blue in the day. I know it's canon now, and how can anyone like, think of North Star with anyone else? But at the time, it was like, oh, this was a character that was introduced very quickly, and all of a sudden now we have a wedding. But it should have been something bigger like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I mean, there's still time. You know, there's still lots of time in these people's lives because I don't know how old are they at this point. Who knows?
Who I've given up. And like again, like my larger qualm, especially with modern books, is like don't age the characters. Don't say it's been a year since that Hellfire Gala year 3, but
Yeah, because I mean, time doesn't. We get older. They don't.
you're speaking for yourself. I don't get older. I'm still the same chaotic twink from like 20 years ago.
I mean, the Botox has kept me at 27 because that's when I started. So,
Oh my God, only 20. First of all, it's an insult if anyone tells you you look 27. 25 at least.
ah, ah,
Um, okay. Here's some couple of questions though that I just
Okay.
asked before I roll our original interview. But however, though, for the familia to know, speaking of chaotic like misbehavior, I showed up to your apartment. I literally knocked on your door and I was like, "Can I have some champagne?" And then we went into your conference room and we just drank and did the
We
entire interview.
housed a bottle. I mean, I think we finished it before. So that the interview could be a little chaotic.
I mean, listen, I've listened to it because I had it edited. I was just waiting for a perfect, like, really good Emma Frost. Because here's the thing though: if you invite a guest onto your podcast, you don't want it to just be like, okay, we release this. You want it tied to something
Yeah.
really big. So we recorded this like I want to say like what? It's April. We're in April,
This
right?
is, yeah, November, December.
Yeah, we were November,
It
December.
had to have been November because I moved since then.
Okay, so it was November. So it's been like 6 months,
Yeah.
and like there's been a lack on Emma Frost news. And I knew that some big things with Emma were coming down the pipeline. I was like, wait, let's just hold on to this. Let's hold on. And it was only until recently when finally they announced her in Marvel Rivals.
I know. People are like living for it.
Well, are you living for it? That's the most important part.
I mean, okay, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest video game person.
Okay. I'm kind of
So now Emma can get me to want to play a video game.
But did you download Fortnite just to play as Emma?
No, I mean, listen, I literally just bought a console.
Wait, you don't even know which console though. What console? Go look at the label.
I think an Xbox.
Why did you buy an Xbox?
Well, to be fair, it came free with my internet.
Wait, what the fuck? How do you get a fucking Xbox free with your internet?
Because I ordered like the most premium internet.
Okay, I got you. That's
Wait, can I not play on this?
yeah, of course. You can play Fortnite on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I'm sure you can.
I think I can because I see like ads for it on my smart TV, my Roku.
Right. No, like, why are you looking at me? I literally just drink Cabernet and get on my Switch. That's it.
What's a Switch?
Like,
No, I know a Switch. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
we have a Switch 2 coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like I've never been my like real. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate. My real thing like just stops at like N64.
No, that's fair. I mean, N64 was peak. Although, like, yeah, no, N64 and like Dreamcast. Those are like the two like main consoles where I think
Yeah,
like our golden age ended.
yeah. I mean, I
No
think
disrespect to any other consoles that came out afterwards.
I could get into it. I can get into anything for Emma.
Okay, well, so what are your feels on Marvel Rivals? On like her outfit, on everything, like the trailer drop?
I mean, it's big, but there's something off about the way she looks.
Okay, what don't you like about how she looks?
I need to pull it up. I'm pulling it up.
Okay. So here's the thing. I saw the trailer. I'd heard on the back end that she was coming, and that's why I was like, okay, this is
Now I
gonna be
remember what
big.
my issue was.
Okay. She was gonna be big, and it was gonna be great. And I have to tell you, when I saw the trailer and they showed Krakoa, and for me, where there is a chill in my bone is when she says, "To me, my X-Men, this is a fight for our survival." And to me, my X-Men is a line that's not said in lots of media. It's only Cyclops and X-Men 97. So the fact that Emma
Correct.
gets that. Anyways, all right.
She looks a little Kardashian.
She is very Kardashian. Well, okay, but that is okay. But what you are saying, I feel, is very emblematic of a lot of issues that creators have when nailing Emma, which is they think she's a byproduct of something when she's not. Emma is always a trend setter, and Emma
Yeah.
will never look too manufactured. Does that make sense? I know that
Yeah. They Kardashianed her.
they Kardashianed her. Emma Grace Frost is trending on X.
Yeah.
She's trending on X. People are excited for her. We just did a vote on Power of X-Men, and we got over 3,000 votes. I know, which is insane, man, for like outfits of the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
And her number one is, of course, the one that we were talking about, where she has like the very straightforward dress. I want to know your thoughts on it because I know you didn't.
When she's in her diamond form?
She's in her diamond form. It's from the Hellfire Gala year one. It's not the one with the crown, and it is not the one which we both
Yeah.
love.
The fur.
Like we love the fur and the crown very much, and it's not the one with the exaggerated headpiece. It's just the one with her bob and like the dress where she's naked underneath.
I mean, it's great, but I've seen that dress done by a lot of people, you know.
Mhm.
I think it was a very J-Lo dress.
Oh, you know, it's so funny because I said Beckham. I said Victoria Beckham on that, and you're saying J Lo. And you know what? I will agree that I think the energy is more Beckham, but I think the look
Yes.
is more J Lo. How about that? I do agree on that is something J Lo would wear.
It like I almost feel like it's what she wore it in some music video.
I am trying to find really quickly any notes I have because we did talk to Russell Dodderman years ago, and I think he told us the inspiration for things. But I think you're probably right that it's more J Lo coded than it is Victoria Beckham.
But I like to think that it's just like all diamonds, and I mean that's chic.
Okay, but before you go though,
Yeah.
before we roll our interview from months ago, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Okay.
Rank all of Emma Frost's Hellfire Gala looks, including the Vigil.
Okay.
And I can, by the way, we're not going to include this part, obviously, but I can drop my image in the chat so you have a visual to look at it. So you're not thrown off by it.
Okay, so I mean going from my least favorite to favorite.
All right, Leah, let's do least to favorite.
Okay, my least favorite is the third.
Okay, wait, which one's the third?
When she had with the suit with the choker and the fur coat over it.
I think that is the ugliest outfit ever. And I'm going to be shady here. There was someone who was friends with the artist on that and was like, this is the best Emma look ever. I'm like, you're just saying that because it's your friend. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's me being so shady.
I yeah, I think that one is my least favorite. And then on it, I have to now that I've seen the variant cover, the Vigil.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's gonna be like the variant cover and less like the full cast Vigil one, um, that might actually be the worst. But these two are both not great.
Do you know what they both have in common, though? I'm sorry, I'm raising my hand. Um, call on me, please. Um, I don't think Emma would wear a choker without thought behind it. I mean, they
Correct.
both have Emma with chokers, and like the one from the visual just looks either was Hot Topic or something she bought at the mall. Again,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to go back to the mall analogy, but it doesn't read like high couture. And I think
Yeah.
there is a way to do chokers that are high couture. I just don't think they've been executed properly.
And okay, so then I would say like number four
Yeah.
would probably be Emma in diamond form.
Oh, the one that came out as number one on Power.
Yeah, but it's for me as someone who's like as a friend of the Costume Institute and as someone who's really invested in fashion, I feel like it's not couture enough for Emma because this dress has been done.
Agreed.
Like it's not unique enough, let's put it that way. And that's why. I think Emma looks stunning. Like I love the shoes, but I don't think it's like this is all about Emma right now.
Fair.
Um, two and three, you know what? Three, we'll go with the one with gold accents, year two.
Okay, fair.
Um, like it's good. The train is a little like there's so many cutouts. And I honestly feel like the train would look better solid.
Fair.
And I honestly don't even know if it needed the gold accents. It might have just been better all white. All right. Then number two is her little corset with the booties and the headpiece, the celestial headpiece. I thought that was fabulous. That felt Met Gala to me.
That is very
I,
Met Gala.
it felt very like it just felt couture. It felt runway. The like cape or jacket, whatever it was, that felt amazing with it. So I really love that. And then my number one is the fur with the heels and
That's
the
mine
diamond head.
too. The diamond crown. I agree. That's by
And the
the way,
shoes are diamond too.
that was the least voted one on Power of
Yeah,
X-Men.
yeah,
We're
that's
talking
crazy.
3,000 votes. For all the stories, we had record-breaking votes. That was the least one. And I don't get it. That to me
I
screams gala.
I think because people, it's not flattering.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's because it's like swallowing Emma. It is giving a little bit like Christian Cowan when he had those like poofs coming down the runway.
Yeah.
I think Jojo Siwa wore one,
Oh God.
and Heidi Klum wore it to Christian's podcast. But I understand why people don't like it, and it might not be their favorite like look on her. But to me, I think it's the most couture outfit. I think like it's like I don't know.
We're on the same.
Someone did it and then they like brought in like Harry Winston to do the headpiece and the shoes.
It is McQueen before
Yeah.
McQueen passed.
Yeah.
Like authentic couture. This is something you wear at a gala. This is high
It's
fashion. This
it's
is something you're going to be in the news the next day wearing.
it's very Galliano Dior
Yeah, you're
as
right.
well. Like it's McQueen. It's that early late 90s, early aughts couture.
I agree. It's
And I don't think it's for everyone. But it's like that time of like it's a very much excess, but it's very I think it's tense across the board for me.
I have to tell you, thank you for justifying what I have been saying for years. Like her year three gala, like is awful. And like by the way, is it an awful outfit? No. Like if she was going out to dinner somewhere,
Right.
like fine, of course, that would look good. But for a gala, it looked awful. It was not cute.
Yeah, it was very Emma on the way to the boardroom.
Emma on the way to an airplane where she's flying public, not private. You know what I mean? Like she's in first class, not a private jet. I just again, it's not an ugly outfit inherently, but it's not
Correct.
gala. Same with the visual. And like we love our co-host Michelle Wafotero. She looks beautiful in the year two. No debate about that whatsoever. That it's a fun costume to bring to life. However, for a gala, it's a little simple. It's a little bit more utilitarian kind of ish. I think we're kind of on the same page with the dress. Either it's J Lo or Beckham, but like I agree, her top two looks are either the headpiece one where she looks very cosmic, or number one is the fur,
diamond.
the fur and the diamond. Like that to me just says that says to me fashion forward. That just says like I'm gonna make the press the next day.
And well, there's that whole like little scene where they're like making the dress.
Yes, I agree. Anyway,
I don't know. I can't believe that came in last.
Alexander, I love you so much.
I love you.
Oh no, I love you
This has been so much fun.
more. Where can folks find you?
They can find me at HRH_Alexander. You can also read my columns. I'm editor at large at Avenue Magazine, and just snarky on my Instagram.